I'd always thought since 2018, gosh, it's a shame there isn't a social impact factory in London or in other cities where we were. So I'm 𝗏𝗺𝗰𝗁. I'm managing director of Troy Planning and Design. We have 3 employees who use the Social Impact Factory membership as a flex membership. And I set up Troy Planning and Design back in 2013, so we're in about 12 years of being a planning consultancy. I started the company, it was just myself, so I was working from my sort of kitchen table, and so the company's kind of developed from there. I never really planned to hire anyone or grow the company, but the demand for our services was really big in the UK. So we started hiring people in 2015, and so we've kind of grown as a company since then. And we've had a number of offices across the UK, in the Netherlands and in the US. A pivotal kind of turning point for the company was the pandemic, COVID pandemic. The thing that we used to do was host big events. When COVID, once that started to restrict the ability to meet in person, we had to do our engagement and consultations online. So we really got used to doing things through kind of technology and remotely. Realize that where they live and the facilities they have near to them are incredibly important. Our focus as a company has really shifted onto that, which is looking at how can we plan places that are really sustainable for each neighborhood within a city. What's most important to have near to you is friends, family, local connections. That's where we really see ourselves going forward as a consultancy, is shaping these spaces to be much more sustainable for all of society. So not just looking at one particular type of the market, but it's really looking at the whole of society and how can we plan better for everyone. I've witnessed so many places that don't function well for people. What I tried to do is create some sort of blueprints for how cities can be made better. Trying to raise the bar of places around the world in terms of how they can become more sustainable. But we did come to Social Impact Factory in 2018 as part of a urban planning tour that was run by the Urban Land Institute. So we had a borrel in the 𝗏𝗺𝗀 and sort of got to experience the space a bit. And I'd always thought since 2018, gosh, it's a shame there isn't a social impact factory in London or in other cities where we were. We decided, after being in Amsterdam for quite a while, to move the company to Utrecht. Yeah, part of the reason was knowing that your office was here and that we had a place where we felt like we shared that ethos about the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. But also the facilities themselves were excellent, so we felt like it was a really good match. So it feels like a very welcoming environment for any of our clients. The network of 𝗏𝗃 as well. We've had some really good conversations here with other companies about what they're doing, what their kind of ethos and kind of impact is on society, what they're trying to achieve, and that's it's inspiring to know that there's other companies who are you're co-located with, who are also trying to do positive things for the wider world. We do have projects and networks in Amsterdam as well, so we've used that office a number of times, so having that flexibility to move between the two cities has been really good. One thing that I really like is how you have the artwork of local artists up, and it changes periodically. I think that's really fascinating, and sometimes it's in the background on a call, for example, and it's a good conversation starter. Overall environment, I think, it feels it's very welcoming, it's very friendly. I feel like there's a real diverse group of people working at 𝗏𝗃 as well, and that we're kept up to date with newsletters and It feels like there's really good communication. I think other places where I've had offices, it's felt a lot more corporate, and a lot more sort of focused on the bottom line, and it's quite kind of obvious. And I think for what we do, we're far more interested in kind of wider impacts than that. So it feels like it's a nice thing to be also supporting as a member of 𝗬𝗃. And one thing I didn't mention is the use of the meeting rooms to invite clients in. So we're working with quite a large transport mobility company in the Netherlands, and we host meetings with them regularly. So for us to be able to do that here as a smaller organization is really valuable for us. They really enjoy coming here for those meetings as well, because there's other events going on, so it just feels like a vibrant space for people to use, and they feel like it's partly theirs now, I think, in a way.